Hello Stampers, it's Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. I have a fun designer series paper project for you today, or sometimes I just call it DSP for short. It's a great card layout that you can do to use up some of your scraps of designer series paper, or maybe you have some packs of it that you haven't even touched yet. This is a great way to kind of put all the fun patterns that are in one package together. We're going to use the tailored tag punch as well as the brand new Happy Thoughts stamp set. Now, Happy Thoughts isn't available yet, but it will be as soon as our new mini catalog comes out in January. But I wanted to share it with you on this video because it works perfect for the project I have. So before I go any further, just remember down in the description of my video will be a link. It'll take you over to my website. Right there, I'll have a post with the pictures of all the cards I have to share with you today because we're going to make one and then I have 4 more. So we'll have all the pictures there. I'll have the card recipes as well as the complete list of all the supplies and everything I used. So if you want to know more details about these cards, just use that link. I like to make it nice and easy for you. And please leave me a comment. I love to hear from my viewers. Do you like my projects? Do you have any questions or anything I can help you with? Leave me a comment. So that's enough babbling. Let's go ahead, flip the camera down, and let's get to today's project. Now, like I said, we're using designer series paper for this fun layout today. Now, I've got the Peony garden paper today, but what I'm going to share with you, you could use any designer series papers. Well, for that matter, you could even just use colored cardstock if you want. But this paper is gorgeous. Now, it's part of a suite, so you can get stamps and dies and ribbons and all kinds of coordinating products with it. But a lot of times, I like to just get the designer series paper and use it with greetings. Let the paper be the focus of your card, and then just add the greetings. So the set I'm using, the card I'm going to make, as well as the other 4 I have to share with you, uses Happy Thoughts. Now, this set's a little near and dear to my heart. It was the stamp set that I was able to design for the new mini catalog that comes out in January. I think this is the must-have stamp set of the year. It has our 4 basic greetings. Congratulations, thank you, thinking of you, happy birthday, as well as some great words that coordinate with all of them for the inside of your cards. You know, I struggle with outside and inside and the basic greetings. So that was where I wanted to go when I designed my stamp set. You're going to probably get sick of me using that stamp set, but it's definitely going to be my go-to stamp set with everything that I do. Okay, let's dive into our layout here. As you can see, I've punched out a whole bunch of pieces using the tailored tag punch. This punch just works perfect for this layout, and it's just a fun one to go ahead and play with and mix and match the different prints that we have. So we're going to just kind of randomly grab one here. We'll start with this one. Now, my piece of Whisper White that I'm adhering these down to is 5.5 by 4 1/4. Okay, just a 1/4 sheet of cardstock, but I will end up trimming this down. I always like to start with it a little bit bigger than I need as I place these on here, because then that gives me a little bit of wiggle room to trim it down later to the size I want. So all I'm going to do is just start playing with these different pieces. We're just adding some adhesive on the back. You guys know I love the liquid adhesive. I love it, especially with something like this, because I can slide these around. I'm kind of eyeballing to get even. Now, the one thing I forgot here was my silicone craft sheet. Let me grab that. This little sheet is amazing. Adhesive doesn't stick to it. So like in this case, I put adhesive on the back. You know, I tried to, not put it right on the edge there because I knew it would hang off. But if it does, on the back, it's not going to stick on there. So it's a great adhesive or little tool to add to your stamping toolbox. Now we're going to go ahead, and all I'm going to do is just fill in this card, just kind of working around, trying to get a little bit of everything, all the different prints that I have. Here's a good example. I'm sure that adhesive ran off, but it's not going to stick to that craft sheet. And see how I can slide it? That's makes placing these way easier. So let's see if we even have enough, or if I have to punch out some more. I just punched out a bunch, kind of thinking we had enough. And see how I'm just kind of working back and forth, trying to bring in all the different prints of the paper. So we'll put that one right there. Trying to get the pinks and the grays to be mixed up and all over the place. So let's put another one right up here, get some pink going. And then, let's see, what else do we need? Let's do this gray. It's kind of hard to completely, let's see. No, we don't want that one there. Let's go right there with it. You know, it's kind of like putting a puzzle together, and sometimes I just tend to give too much thought to it. So we gotta sometimes just put them down there. We know all the pieces are gonna coordinate because they're from the same package of designer series paper. So let's see, I think we're almost full here. I'm not gonna go all the way to some of these edges because I think that might get trimmed off right here because we are gonna cut this down. So let's put a pink one on here. I think we're almost good. Let's see, that one's gonna go there. And you know what, we're gonna call it good. So here, what's nice now is I can pick this up. You can see little spots there where that adhesive went off, but that's okay. Now, I'm gonna take this to my paper cutter. You know, you can use your Stampin' Up! Trimmer, but I like to use my big guillotine because I have some adhesive that is still a little wet there. If it was dry, it would be fine, but I don't wanna wait. So hold on one second and I'm gonna be right back. Okay, I trimmed it down and you can see where quite a bit is cut off there to 3 3/4 by 5. And you can see here, I have just a little spot that we want to fill in. I think we'll use this one. Let's put our craft sheet there. And actually I can even just put a little adhesive right on my cardstock. Okay, don't put it right up next to it because we're gonna have that little bit of border. Now, if you don't have a good cutter, you know, and your adhesive is still wet, you could even just use your scissors, you know, to trim it off that way. So let me go trim that one. I'll be right back again. There we go. Isn't that a fun background? Now we're gonna go ahead and layer it on, there we cut it right, to a piece of, what do we have here? I think it's smoky slate because it coordinates with our paper. So layer it on there like that. And then I have a petal pink card base that we're gonna add this to. So we'll put all of that on there. And then all we need to do is add our greeting and our card will be all done. There was, you know, the focus point. Let that paper do the work. So from the Happy Thoughts, I have the Thinking of You. Now the beauty of the stamp set is we could do any of these stamps. Thinking of You, happy birthday, congrats, or what else did we have on there? Thank you. So we just stamped with that smoky slate, and then we are going to go ahead and punch that out with the same punch. We're just using that tailored tag punch. Now, let me grab a little bit more of the smoky slate cardstock. You know, I'm sorry, I keep saying smoky slate, but it's actually gray granite. So I had to grab the right piece here. So I went ahead and I punched another one, and then what I'm going to do is cut that in half with my scissors. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. So, you know, these colors, sometimes I forget what I have when I set up. So make sure you hop over to that my website. The link's down in the video description, and I promise I'll have the colors right over there. So all I'm doing is putting a little bit of adhesive right up the top here of this punched image and putting 1/2 on the top and 1/2 on the bottom. It just gives me a nice layered look, like so. And then all I need to do is grab my dimensionals. You know me, we can't make a card without dimensionals. So let's go ahead and stick those on there. And we'll pick those off like so. And then I'm gonna just add this to my card. Now this is where, you know, sometimes I put too much thought into it. I could go right over one, off a little bit. You know, it's kind of like fun to play with. I think I'm gonna kind of offset it with some of those other ones and go right about there, like so. Now, don't forget your inside, because remember with Happy Thoughts, we have our inside words and our outside words. So let's go ahead and stamp, let's see, I don't have labels for my stamp set. I was actually able to get the stamp set early because I did a presentation for Stampin' Up's convention that we just had. And when they sent me the stamp set, it did not have the labels in it. Now, let's be honest, half the time I don't put labels on anyway, so it's not a big deal. But sometimes with words, it's probably a good thing to put them on so we don't get it upside down. So just wanted to send some happy thoughts your way. How is that for a fun card that really focuses on using designer series paper? Now let me show the other 4 that I made already. So this one is made very similar. The only thing is I have it going one way instead, you know, this one's going up and down, this one's going sideways, but it's pretty much the exact same card. Then I started playing around, just getting a few different designs. You can see here that I didn't completely cover that background piece. And then my congratulations is actually stamped on a piece of designer series paper. You can kind of see the marble there from the same package. And then I just popped it up with dimensionals in a spot where I was putting pieces here. So it just takes the place of one. I added a little bow and a couple of rhinestones. So there is our congratulations with greetings on the inside. Now the next 2, I had a little bit of fun. Again, I didn't fill in our whole piece there, but I added a flower to it this time. So just to give it a little extra something. Now, can you see the texture? I don't know if it's coming across good in the video. After I adhered all of my pieces down, I ran it through I think this is the textile embossing folder. Subtles works great too, or actually any of them. But you need to adhere all the pieces down, and then before I layered it onto the white, I ran it through with that embossing folder, and it just gives it some fun, awesome texture. I did the same thing on this one. Now here too, you can see I just laid out those pieces differently. So with that tailored tag punch, we can kind of set this up and layer, you know, place them on there however we want. So I hope you like this idea. It would work great with any designer series paper, or if you don't have any, you could just do different colors of cardstock would be super cute as well. So if you have questions, make sure to reach out to me. I'm here to help you in any way that I can. I hope you try these projects. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. Reach out to me. I'll send you a catalog if you need one, or if you have any questions, I'm here for you. And if you need to place a Stampin' Up! Order, you can hop over to my website as well. I'll have a shop here button over there, and you can place an order for any of the products I've shared with you today, or anything else from Stampin' Up! That you need to order. So until I stamp with you again, have a stamp happy day.